Good evening, gentlemen. Good evening. Good evening. Good evening. Okay. Hello, hello. Right. Just seeing what you put in the team chat. If only. Like 50 points straight up. Right, let me switch to spectate before we get going. That's good, Rage. That means you can bin it and score 0 points. Yes, we are round 4 tonight of the DTS season in Power Grid Racing. We are round... This is Projan's home track, technically, of the Netherlands. All of the orange supporters. Hence me being on comms this week. So I had to come out of retirement for a week. Ah, fuck Vanterblade, you shit. Oh, I get to rinse you now, Wiggy, because you're racing here. Hope you're ready. Yeah, you should, yeah. Hopefully everyone can see the Constructors' Championship standings. If not, I'll make it bigger for people who cannot. But it is currently Wiggy's team, which is Vanterblade. I'll make it bigger, it looks really small. There we go, So yeah, Wiggy's team of Vanterblade Racing are currently in P1 on 284 points. They're 46 points ahead? No, 42. I can't even read my own artwork. 42 points ahead of Williams BMW, who scored 170 points last week at... What race was it last week? Fucking hell, Silverstone. That was after Mark picked up P1 after a charge, I think, from 8th after the pit stops to 1st. Mark off a pretty good race for him. Trojan are currently in P3. They're 48 points behind. Rage did a masterclass at Silverstone. What a disaster class. Projan P3 on 236. They jumped a place up ahead of Murdergram GP, who dropped a place. They're P4, 233. And Monarch are currently in the top 5 with 206 points. 78 points behind Vanterblade. And then the chasing group, which are all the teams fighting to get inside that top 5, which are the Super Bowl positions. Prestige Racing gained 3 points and were the top scorers in Silverstone with 111 points. They basically doubled their points tally in a single race. I think Notorious took the win in Hamilton last week. They're 202, so they're 4 points behind Monarch Racing at the moment. It's P5. Then it's Kinetic Racing, who are only 9 points. Hello, Manic. Yeah, Kinetic Racing, who were 9 points. They dropped 5 positions and scored a massive 15 points at Silverstone. So they really need a bounce back weekend for them after a bit of a hefty whack in their championship standards. Only 3 drivers as well. Oh, so you've got the odds are against you now, Delta. Evening, John. How are you, mate? Sentinel are then 3 points behind Kinetic and 12 points off that P5 spot. Oh, okay, then 3 drivers for SRT as well. So 2 teams losing a driver tonight. Then Jaguar and Nvidia are another 2 points behind. So there's literally 5 teams separated by 18 points at the moment. P5 down to P9. It's very early days in the championship, but I think it's just showing how close it is. And then rounding out the back of the field is... Do I say it? Do I say the Batmarker team? Do I rinse Zoltan like that? Is that too harsh? I mean, Zoltan is back this week, so the chances of them scoring big are, I think, higher than previous weeks. Oh, do I have to time you out for that, Rage? That's in the driver's standings. See my sexy spreadsheet. Magnatex is currently P1 in the standings after Bab had his promotion up to Hamilton. Mag is on 108 points. He picked up P2 in Silverstone last week, and Mark is currently P2 in the championship after his win. Bab the cheat, yeah. Bab the cheat code. The Mark's win solidified himself in P2. I think he was P2 already at that point. No, I don't think he was actually. I'm telling lies. But anyway, he's P2 with 1 million Rattigan in P3 in the standings on 70 points. Then it's Basson P4, Hilly P5, Matt P6 after he missed a race. Diablo's P7, he's got a quali ban tonight. Rage is P8, Cold Steel's P9, and Pintita rounds out the top 10 in the Drivers' Championship. I won't go for everyone and all the points. I've also noticed that there's a driver on 0 points that's in the middle of that, so that's obviously incorrect. We will ignore. Yes, but Lanny's a full-time driver, isn't he? Which is why he's in the standings and Scouse isn't. Unless that's now changed again, Mag, and I've not been made aware. Standings are only for full-time drivers. How many have you got? Probably 0. It's changed again. No one told me, Mag, so I'll update it afterwards. I knew that Scouse was reserving for 4 races. I don't know, how many points are you on? Scouse, let's have a look. You're not even in the standings. Got graped. You finish? That's 16th. Beat Plev. That means you're Grandmaster Elo. Preset free, you Wally. I'm gonna try if I can. I know that the other division doesn't have commentary. So I'm going to see if I can open stream, see standards potential. Do it. Another device. I won't be commentating on that race, obviously, but at least I can update the TPs who are watching what's going on in the race. Why is that opened in laptop mode? Why is it saying I've got no internet connection? Yes, John. It's a few. JT's be at the back. It's frozen. JT. I've got 3 different devices I can put on for the other grid. Hello, Jack. Victims from the other tier to stalk. Oh, we go in a second. Cool. That sounds streamed, doesn't he? Stalk him to 5. Good man, Hassan. That's 2 POVs I've got. Let's see if we can get a third for. Let's see if I can get another. Let me switch my overlay as well. There we go. Where's my phone? That's loud. Ah, he's live as well. Perfect. There we go. I've got 3 POVs from the other tier, so at least we might be able to tell what's going on over there. I am like, I've got 6 screens on the go now. Multi-management. You wouldn't get this level of comms manic somewhere else just because I'm only here every other week. Whoa, right, back to where we was. Let's get everything set up because qualifying has just started. No, we don't need anything else. So who's the first car on track? It's a blue car. It's going to be either one of Rage or John, and it is John. So we'll stay on board with John. I'd love to look at the championship standings, but I don't have screens available to me anymore. yes, Chris had a quali ban, hence his retirement early on. So John is the first car on a flying lap. As a car that looks like Scouse, who's racing for Verdogram GP. Scouse or is it Mag? Yep, Scouse. And then there's a purple car behind him. Is that Delta? It is. So Delta and Scouse joined at the hip. And then it's Rage is the fourth car, followed by Matt. So we've got a few cars in a line. But John is the first car who's coming around the final corner now, the banked corner. One of the few banked corners around. All the Trojan fans in the crowd in orange. And John comes to start his flying lap. Got the overtake and the straight line mode open, and it comes into turn one. Very begun. The lift coming through turns 3, now going through turn 4, which is the steep backed corner, and out to run through turns 5 and turn 6. Technically our corners, even though the F1 car takes these flat out, I'm pretty sure that's turn 7. And then now this is turn 8. Bit of a lift. I've got broken telemetry. Only John's not applying any throttle whatsoever. A pretty neat and tidy lap for John at the moment. He's got plenty of battery still available to him for this final sector. It's 49.4 middle sector, so it's going to be purple sectors because John is the first car on a flying lap. Got 2 more corners to go, 1 braking zone and 1 straight flat corner around the back. He's got 60% battery, so he's not going to run out of battery to the line. That's the final push to the line. What is the benchmark going to be? It's going to be a 110, 111. It's a 111. 010, and we're jumping forward with Scouse as he goes slower by a few thousandths of a second. Delta's into the pit, so he's bowed on his lap. Rage is coming to the line. Rage has been impressive on F126, and he's a second off the pace. But not a very good banker lap for Rage, all things considered. There'll be more pace in the cards for him. Matt is coming across the line to 49.2, so that's a quicker middle sector, but he's run out of battery. And he goes quickest by a 10th as Mark dethrones him with a 110.7. He jumps into provisional pole. Hello, Jack. How you doing, mate? And then Luke Stepney overtakes Mark and takes provisional pole with a 110.6.8. Mikey GTI, I think he's on his first race. He's a former DTS full-time driver, is Mikey. He puts himself P4 with a 110.960. Magnetex just goes P8. Safe just slots in behind him, so it's very close already. Cold Steel 111, 119. Would you want a car on a lap? There's a car that's just crossed the line and they just missed it. That's Rob Williams. He's got slowest overall. Hilly's in the first sector, coming into the final sector. So Royal Rumble is the next car that's going to come across the line. This is my chosen tier, Jack. Plus they did have comp last week. This is my tier comps this season. Rumble jumps up to P10 with a 111.854. Who was it? Hilly? No, it was Wiggy. Wiggy's crossed the line. He's only down in P10 with a 111.6. Re-qualifying, mate. We're not racing yet. So jump aboard in Hilly as he finishes his first flying lap of the session, empties the battery pack, empties it well before the line. Cost him a lot of lap time as he finishes with a 111.644, so he'll manage the battery a little bit better through a lap to save a bit more for that final straight. And we've got yellow flags, that's for JM who's letting a load of cars through, and Delta's also doing the same. Pemberton has a 49.8 through the middle sector, so that's putting him around about a 111.4. John did a second lap and jumped to P2 with a 110.699. He's going to finish his lap, and it's a handy lap time from Pemberton. Bowden, I think actually his name is, sorry Perb. With a 111.350. It's hard to tell who these cars that are still on track are they actually, because Wiggy's going again. Obviously it doesn't. It's not telling me. I think Magnetex is on again, so we'll stick on board with Mag as he crosses the line. He goes quicker by 2.5 tenths to P6, but he's still in the 111s, which I'd expect Magnatex to go quicker than that. Craig just jumped slowest overall with a 12.5, so he's got plenty of time to find. Delta and JM have just started their laps, so JM is on a second warm-up lap. Delta's on his lap, so we'll stick on board with Delta. We'll try and see if anyone else improves on the timing tower. Didn't see Delta's first sector split. We'll get an idea after the middle sector on around about the time that he's going to hit. It's a 50.2 after the middle sector, so that's looking like an 11.5, 11.6, depending on his speed through the final sector. He's got plenty of battery left. I think Hilly gone again. So he's about to cross the line, Hilly is. What's he going to do? It's a P9 now for Hilly. It's a 111.231. Delta, one final push to the line, moves it to P14. It's a 111.856 for Delta, so he's got he's just behind Royal Rumble by 0.02 of a second. JM is about to start his lap after his double warm-up lap. Ragan is on a lap at the moment. Ragan 49.6 after the middle sector. That's going to put him for a low 11. Ragan sporting the Aphrodite pink and the Nvidia green helmet as well, so in homage to his former team. Ragan, he crosses the line, P11 with a 111.309, so yeah, around about what we predicted after his middle sector time. Oh, Steele is good 3.5 temps up after the first sector. Stick on board with the rest of this lap. No, we won't, because I've just pressed the wrong button. Plenty of battery saved up. He's got a lot of battery saved up this cold steel. Has that hampered his lap time, or is he still going to be 3.5 temps up after the middle split? It's 4.5 temps up now, so this is potentially a new provisional pole lap time being set from PGR Cold Steel for Vantablaid Racing, showing up as TP. It's got loads of battery left for the run to the line, and JM goes quickest overall with a 110.6. But Cold Steel crosses the line and beats that. We're now in the 110.5. It's only 6 thousandths. No, 6. Oh, Jesus. 600ths of a second quicker. Each provisional pole at the moment for Cold Steel and Vantablaid with JM and the PRT team. Luke Stepney just about to cross the line. No, he peels off into the pit, so he obviously wasn't happy with his lap time. Mark is on a in-lap? Or he's on a double warm lap. Mikey's just finished his lap. He's moved up to P6 of a 110.8. Matt is currently on a lap at the moment. He's a 10th up after the first sector. It looks like he's backed off, considering he's charged a lot of battery. I think he has, yes. He must have made a mistake. Hello, Reevski. Oh my god. Been a while. And Mark, through the first sector, is currently a 10th up. No, thank you, mate. Appreciate it. Much appreciated. Hope you're doing well, mate. So Mark, after the first sector, he was a 10th up. He's still a 10th up after the middle sector, so depending on what time he's got left to find, we'll see whether he can potentially move himself maybe to the front row, or if he gains an extra 10th through this final sector. Can he beat that original pole time of a 1:10.5? He's run out of battery way before the line, and I think, yeah, battery management has forced him into the pits. And he bails on that lap time. John moves up to P4. No, he was already there. John had started his lap. Wiggy's washed is the answer to that question. We'll jump back on board with John because he has just started a lap. Well, started a lap. He's gone through the first sector, missed his first sector split. John is looking very quick at the moment, and he's one of them drivers that has picked up the new regulations quite well. Seems very much up to speed. Here of his lap time is currently a 10.5 up, so at the moment John, going into the final sector, has a chance to dethrone PGR Cold Steel off provisional pole position. He backs off, does John, so recharges. So he's going to go again, it looks like, considering he hasn't come into the pits. Maybe he just wasn't happy with his final sector time. Jump on board with Hilly. Goes to 10th up after the first sector. There's a lot of battery again already. Do with a bit more recharge. A little bit deep into the corner. He's got a car ahead, that's a Vantablack car, so he can get a little bit of a toe going down this short straight. Won't give him much. Again, it's not using overtake here, due to the battery situation. Oh, and the car in front of him has just spun, whoever that was. Was that Wiggy? Oh my god, it's Wiggy. Around the final corner, Hilly, with the overtake, use whatever battery he's got left, reaches the straight line mode. He runs out of battery, but we'll see what lap time he can get, and it's slower than his previous lap time. Hilly stays in P10, it's 1:11.3 is what he managed on that lap. Nathan is currently a 10.5 up. I think John is just about to start his lap time again. Keep tabs on with John on what he can do, because he looks like he's fighting for pole position at the moment. It's Netherlands, Cork. Zandvoort. Team deathmatch. Haytham crossing the line, goes quicker up to P10 with a 1:11.096. He goes a 10.5 quicker. I think unless Haytham's got the fuel to go again. Oh, money on it, Diablo. I mean, considering where you are, and considering that you're not going to be going any quicker, I reckon you'll be P20. He didn't even make it out on track, Scouts. Lonnie's currently 3.5 tenths up after the middle sector. That is a lap and a half, and we'll stick on board for the end of this one. Is that an actual sector split? It is. John, 2.5 tenths quicker, it goes up to P1 with a 1:10.4 as Cold Steel dethrones him. Straight away, John was P1 for all of about 4 seconds. And it's a 1:10.3 Cold Steel. And Mark's not on a lap, he's on a warm-up lap, looks like. Jay's on a double warm-up, Stepney's on a double warm-up. Mark's about to start his lap. It's getting really difficult to find out who's on a lap. Oh my god, and Mikey nearly bins it. We jumped on board just in time for that, so maybe Mikey can pull off and go again. Apologies. We missed the end of qualifying. Oh, so Cold Steel takes pole position then with a 1:10.295, so he went even quicker than what he did earlier in the session. John manages P2 with his lap. Yeah, I'm not surprised. Picks up my desktop audio. Let me see if I can unmute it just for the time being. There we go. Shouldn't hear them anymore. I did have the other tier up. Let's see who's on pole. Lemons is on pole. He did a 195. Zoltan P2, Plev P3, Notorious P4, Jack P5, Stomper P6, Tronzik P7, Bab P8, Hawk P9, and JT. Is Lemon streaming yet? Bastard's not streaming. I've got 3 midfielders from the other session, mate. Looking very cloudy in the other tier as well, so I'm wondering whether there's rain. I mean, we've got clouds here as well. I'm assuming there's no rain chance, people. The other race is... Oh my god, I've got like a massive desync. The race has just started. Well, there's contact between JT and Bab. Bab's lagging. But it looks like they've got away pretty cleanly in the other division. On board, JT's P9, Big D's P11, Hassan is P15. Contact between Crash, but looks like Lemons has held the lead. But we're not bothered about that tier, we're bothered about this tier as the formation lap. Jesus, these guys at the front are motoring. We get on board with tyres and we've got 21. Multi-21, Mark. Multi-21. Cheers, Andy. So everyone on mediums, apart from Scouse, Rage and Diablo, they've gone for softs to start. And Haytham, Delta, Craig and Rob Williams have all opted to start on the hard compound tyres. These guys at the front have absolutely demolished this formation lap. They're pulling up on the grid and we've got cars that are just entering the final sector. I think Diablo is coming around the penultimate corner. These guys have already been sitting on the grid for about 10 seconds. Go then, cars have lined up on the group. We've got a few angles going on that left-hand side, trying to get to the racing line, but we've got 3 and 5 red lights, and it's lights out, and away we go. And I think Cold Steel has gotten away pretty well there, and he looks like he has to maintain the lead. I can't remember who the other car is. That is John in P2. Let me get the tyres off because they're taking up so much of the screen. Yeah, John has managed to stay in P2. Luke has managed to stay in P3. There's not been a lot of movers off the start. Mark in P4 gets a little bit squirrely on the exit. It's going to give JM the opportunity to potentially have a go at him. And further on up, John and Luke Stepney are going at it. Further on back, there's absolute movement. And we've got a car off the track. That's purple car of Mikey GT. Oh, and Perm has been caught up in that as well. It's 2 cars spun at the back. Hopefully they've not got damage and they can get back going in this race. Mikey hasn't got damage. I can't check Perm's wing. Check it slightly afterwards, but out in front, Cold Steel has maintained the lead of the race. John has managed to keep P2. Luke has managed to keep P3. There's a car going deep. That was Matt. Looks like he went a little bit deeper than what he wanted to, and that's allowed Ratigan just to have a little bit of a look, but no, nothing doing. And 2 cars there, Scouts and Wiggy going at it. 2 former Champs tier drivers as well. I mean, champions, there is plenty of Champs drivers here at the moment. Scouts had a massive wobble, it looked like, as Mikey spun around again. Mikey having a terrible start, and what, Scouts makes a move down the inside. It was a very late lunge, and he bangs into the side of Hilly's side pod, and that's allowed Wiggy to sail through. And thank you very much, I'll take a bit of that, and he takes P10. Mikey has carried on. Perm looks like he did have damage because he has come into the pits. John, very equal battery with Cold Steel at the moment. A lot of the leaders have got very similar battery, but John is looking particularly racy at the moment. He's looked quick in qualifying, and it's obviously translated into the race, so he must be very confident around Netherlands. No, on the exit there, PGR Cold Steel. A much better exit than what John did, and Luke got a better exit, but one slightly on the penultimate corner, and now the run down to turn 1. See Mark potentially make a move on Jay. I think he's too far back. Fastest laps for all of the top 4. Magnatech with the fastest lap. Hilly now with the fastest lap. Got Wiggy and Irish going at it once again. Irish on them soft compound tyres, remember. He was able to make a bit more gains at the start. There's contact, it looks like, maybe between Delta and Royal Rumble, and Royal Rumble's dropped down to P16. Craig's fell off the back. It's down in P17. Maybe he got caught up in some of the contact, and we've got on board John and Luke are going at it through sector 1. Actually just has to back out of it. John manages to hold that inside line and keep it 2, but very racy already in the front. This will help Cold Steel. The more he can just cruise around without having to burn any more of his extra battery, the more he can just maintain the pace out in front, maintain that lead and break away when he gets the opportunity. And Luke around the outside. Just making space, but then Luke was squeezed a little bit there, and that compromised through the left-hander, and that's then compromised Jay, who's allowed Mark to sail through into P4. Oh, Mark's caught the skateboard and hits the barrier. Has he got wing damage? He's got going again, but that's got to be wing damage for Mark. And it looks like, yeah, he's lost that left-hand side end plate. It looks a lot more worse damage as well, so we probably could see Mark coming into the pits at the end of this lap to change that front wing, probably then to go onto the hard compound tyres and switch to that 2-stop early. Caught that skateboard curve on the exit of the penultimate corner and just went sailing off straight into the barriers. Last week's race winner took an early setback this week. Just got past JM as well for P4, so that's going to make it even more hard. Well, I say harder, but a setback that he just got himself up to P4 as well. Seconds before that incident into the barriers. And with the damage, he's caused that break in the train, which has dropped Wiggy, Haytham and Diablo all off that front breakaway 9. Scalf's Setting some decent laps on them softs. Expect them softs to drop off after another lap or two. And Mark does fly into the pits. Be careful not to speed. Pick up a 10-second penalty. Yes. It's not DNF, but damage has basically ended his race at this point. He's going to need some very good pace here and out on them hard compound tyres, just to get himself back in track position at least. And Luke has gotten past John in all that as well. I think that just happened down that straight through turn 4, 5 and 6. So Luke's finally got ahead of John into P2. And Luke's looked quicker than John at the moment in race trim, so I think we can see him attacking Cold Steel very, very early. Might got a better exit than Magnatex, but I don't think it was close enough to make a move. Obviously, he's got plenty of battery to defend, so I don't think he's going to come under attack this map. Now he's got Luke, who does seem to be much quicker than what John was. It's not going to be clean sailing for Cold Steel anymore. Defending from Scouts again. Scouts just do P9 on them soft compound tyres. We're on lap 6 already of this race. And I think we're going to be seeing the first pit stops, apart from ones for damage, very, very shortly. He's already looking considerably quicker than what John did behind Cold Steel. Plenty of battery saved up as well, although Cold Steel is managing his battery quite well. I'm sure these two had a little bit of a run-in in champs yesterday. So it's kind of like a battle re-engaged for these two drivers. They've learned from what they learned about each other yesterday, and they can use that to good measure in the race today. And Luke to get a slightly better exit. He's going to get the slipstream. Both of them are going to be using battery. Can Luke get himself alongside, or enough overspeed that he can make a move down the inside into turn 1? He does. He brakes later, considerably later, but gets it stopped well on the apex, and he takes the lead of the race. That's a great move from Luke Stepney up to P1. Break has just formed in the train. Hilly is struggling to stay on the back of Matt F1 in P7. 1.2 seconds off, 1.1 now, so he might be able to gain it back slightly somewhat. Look at Luke's pace. He's already dropped Cold Steel quickly. 1.2 seconds he's managed that gap to, and they've got very similar battery, so Luke Stepney is, well, as his Steam user is Stepney Luke. Allowed himself to break away, and there's another break in the train as Magnatex has lost it, and Hilly's had clawed himself back in. So whether Magnatex had a mistake or Matt put Magnatex under pressure, which is why this train has backed up slightly. We got Wiggy into the pits. It's a very slow entry, Wiggy. Jesus. There's being careful, and then there's literally braking on the pit stop line. At the time, the Cold Steel was losing to Luke Stepney out of the traction zones. And now it looks like John's quicker than Cold Steel again after early stages. Was that Cold Steel looked considerably quicker. I'm seeing a few pit stops from some of the drivers early for that 2-stop. Seconds is the gap now from Luke to cold steel, so Luke is just extending that gap even more. Magnatex hasn't been able to get back in second, but get that added recharge, added overtake mode. The leading box just yet. None of the top 9 boxes. In fact, Scouts are still on them soft compound tyres. JM comes into the pits, as does Rage. Speed, Rage cannot get it slowed down in time and picks up a 10-second time penalty for speeding in the pits. The 60 kph limit at Zandvoort, and catches so many drivers out. Just that extra bit of early braking, just to save yourself from a 10-second penalty, is what you need to do, and some drivers just try and push that to the limit. Tries all over the back of cold steel. Luke's now managing his pace, now he's broken that 1 second. And he's continued to extend that gap as well. He's got to be careful of the undercut. Any of these cars could box. That's been off track. Look at that, where he's let Hilly through. I have had a moment on the exit of turn 11? Turn 12, I think it is. Why you just let Hilly go, not fighting it, so we didn't see anyone box. Stays up, we've got a spin, that's Perma, spun it on the banked corner. No safety car doing, he's got going again, so that's good, that's what we like to see. One second now is the gap from Luke to cold steel, 2.3, so he's gained nearly 4/10 of a second through the banked corner alone. Johnny's all over the back of him. Oh, and John has spun into the wall, and that'll be front wing damage, I'd imagine, for John. Oh, and he was looking so good, so quick in qualifying, and he looked really quick in the race, and now he's picked up bad front wing damage on that left-hand side, and he's going to have to come into the pits. That's another driver getting caught out and picking up damage. And there's a spin. I think that's Perm. I don't know whether that's Perm spinning or letting cars. I think he's letting back markers through. Oh, he's spun now. Whether he's got rear wing damage, because that was very unorthodox. See anyone come in? You've got Hilly to come into the pits. Very slowly entering the pit lane. Scouse comes into the pits off them soft compound tyres. Again, another driver who hits that pit lane line. Going well underway before the line. So very cautious on the pit entry, which is what you need to do. Rather lose half a second of your race time. Probably picking up a 10-second penalty. Yep, you fucked it, mate. Poor John. That was such a good race as well. Yeah, front wing change. Oh, if it's a brake check, John, then report it, mate. Perm picks up a 10 seconds for speeding in the pits and retires in the pit lane, so I wonder whether that was rear wing damage or Perm. Fortunate end to his race. You don't want to see anyone retire, but if you've got rear wing damage, it's almost undrivable. So now Hilly's pulled the pin. He was P5 as he pitted, so the undercut. He's got clean air right in front of him as well. He's covered off Diablo, who pitted on a few laps earlier. Hilly on the undercut. Bond? Magnatex stays out. Cold Steel stays out. Matt comes into the pits. So are these drivers that are staying out trying that one stop? I saw quite a few one stoppers in the Masters division, which by the end of the race they were just forced to box again. That one stop strategy didn't work. Tyres just died right at the end of the stint. Hilly's come out ahead of Matt. Matt will be looking can just to get out ahead of Scalps and Diablo, and he's going to manage it. He'll try and get ahead of Diablo. Going side by side, all this contact between Diablo and Matt. And Matt has slotted in behind Diablo at this point. Matt's got the extra battery though. Yes, Manic. Matt's got the extra battery around the outside of Diablo, going through the fast left-hander, decides to back out of it. Diablo's used most of his battery though. He hasn't got the added recharge of the overtake boost modes. That will be able to. Look he was going to go for a dive, jump on board because it'd be easier to see. Diablo on the left-hand side through the tyre wall. Switch from inside to out to get the inside line, but backs out of it. That gets that move finally done, but it's a few corners too late, and that's allowed Scouts to pull away. So Rattigan is the next driver to get a 10-second time penalty for speeding in the pit lane. He's another one boxing for the hard compound tyres, so that'll be a 2-stop for Rattigan at this point. I don't think you're going to see Hards doing 24 laps. Scouts has put on the mediums. Out in front, Luke, he's currently 3.4 seconds ahead of Cold Steel, who's 1.4 ahead of Magnatex. Haytham, who's died on the hard compound tyres, is up to P. Delta is currently P5 and Rob Williams P6. They've all yet to box. Are the three at the front trying that one-stop strategy, which didn't work well on Tuesdays? It worked well that they got track position, but by the end of the race, they had 0 tyres left. Gap's the leader. Hilly's 19.4 seconds behind Stepney now. Cold Steel comes into the pits, as does Magnatech, so I think that answers the question on are they doing the one-stop strategy? The answer is no. So that's now 23 laps on hard compound tyres. That's too much of a stretch. Switch to the 2-stop quite late. Keep the tyres on just for the moment. The leader. So about a minute ago, Billy was 19.4 seconds back. As we've got a 3 wide situation going on here. Magnatech's around the outside of Mark. Haytham's going to have a look at Mark as well if he can. Mark's got a nice front wing glitch going on. It makes it look like he's got a wing, yet he hasn't got one. To stay ahead. Yeah, what's this Williams BMW front wing? It's like he's got a front wing and end plate, but he doesn't have a nose. It's like a phantom nose. It's like a weight reduction. Always knew the Williams was overweight. Right, Luke has come into the pits. 13 laps or 14 laps on the mediums is enough to push 22 laps on hards. It's quite possible. I just think it's too much of a stretch. The tyres will be screaming by the end of the race. Delta comes into the pits. He was on the hard compound tyres. So we go medium. So Hilly takes the lead of the race after his undercut. Scouse moves himself up into P2 and we'll look at position changes now that we've had the pit stops. Hilly's up 11. Scouse is up 8. Chris is currently up 13 positions. The entire stream has ended. Has this race ended in the pit lane? Tired? Oh, front wing damage. That's a pit lane retirement if I've ever seen one. Could have stayed on and I could have watched. Oh, good. Yeah. Could have stayed in the thingy keeping your stream going, so I could have seen the positions. That's all good, mate. No worries. What happened? Ah, lucky. Or if it's reportable. If you're still in the lobby, mate. Back to TPs. If there's any TPs watching, most of them are actually driver TPs now. So Hilly out in front, 1.4 seconds from Scouse. He's maintaining that gap, so Hilly's got some good pace. Stepney is in P3. And that potential one-stop strategy is swapping and changing going on here. We've got like a 4 or 5 car train going on. Car battle going on here. Biggie leading this train at the moment. JM in it, Haytham in it, Diablo's in it. Markvard had to box early. He's in 11. Looks like he's struggling a little bit. Obviously, his tyres are considerably older than the cars around him. And on the inside, but opts against it. This car, this train, oh, moment? It's had a moment because Haytham is allowed to swing through, so try to move on Hilly. Oh, Wiggy, stood up. Tyres back. The only ones who were questionably on. Jim Jack, thank you, mate. The only ones who are on for a potential one stop is Luke, Old Steel, and Rattigan, essentially. Magnatex, potentially. But I think it's way too much of a stretch on the hard compound tyres. I mean, we'll see. They're obviously more in the knowledge than what I am. Their tyre wear can be from what I'm expecting it to be. As for me, when we this race on Tuesdays, says you're going up. Sound like the stream name, mate. Thank you. Luke has closed up to Hilly out in front. Luke has got an impressive pace. And if he's going for a one stop at the level of pace that he's putting in, then that is impressive tyre management. Sure. Old Seal was running P2 for a lot of this race. He's now dropped to P5 after he's extended that first stint. And went on to the hards. Is he also one stopping? Is he nursing these tyres? Car in the pits, that's Rage. That's for his second pit stop of the day, I think. It is, yeah, because he's got to serve his 10-second penalty. We've got a 2 wide situation going on here. We've got another car running the Williams front wing. 3 wide between Bob. Royal Rumble, Delta and Rob were going 3 wide. You're having a little bit of a battle at the back of the field of these drivers. Point counts for DTS, obviously. Delta's going absolutely wild with the back. He's got his teammate in Craig just ahead of him as well. Scouts has just dropped off a little bit, so have the mediums died off, who did so well on the softs. It's surprising that if the mediums fell off that early, compared to how long he managed to drag them soft compound tyres, but Luke, with overtake, got yellow flag, that's JM who's on the spin. That's for PRT, who are already struggling in the championship and are continuing to struggle, it would look like. Luke hasn't managed to overtake Hilly just yet, as Mark comes into the pits for his second pit stop and compounds the misery of getting damage on lap 4. He now has a 10-second penalty that he's going to have to serve. 4 yellow flags, I don't know who that was for. Mark now has made his second pit stop and he's got that 10-second to deal with. It's a nice performance graphic that should come on your stream, JT. Why don't I get that? Anyone does want to see the live of, just to see the leaderboard of the other tier, JT's got a stream going so you can see the leaderboard of how Hamilton's getting on. I don't know, yeah, I want that graphic. It'd be helpful. So Luke, is he close enough this time? Hilly just seems to be managing that gap well enough that Luke's not able to get through. And every lap that he's stuck behind Hilly is a lap where his tyres that are fresher than the cars behind, cars around. Probably on that 2-stop. Can't use these tyres. It's still a 2-stop, I think, of Rage and Mark at the moment. Yeah. So Scouse has really dropped off, and I can probably see Scouse boxing the next lap or 2. Obviously, I'll look after the race, Jack. Can't do that, mate. Pull up the tyres on your screen, Jack. Scouts has really dropped off. We've got gaps forming around the midfield. Delta and Rob are now going at it. Has Rob got damage? Was that front wing damage? It is front wing damage. So Rob Williams has got front wing damage from somewhere. Royal Rumble was ahead of these guys and he's now down in P17. So have I missed an incident potentially between someone? Scouts is into the pits. So yeah, their medium tyres really did them softs for 9 laps and he only got them mediums an extra lap longer than what he did the softs. Scouts is running the rainbow strategy of running all 3 tyre compounds. You don't see that too often. And Luke has got in ahead of Hilly, 4v1. Thank you, Jack. Now ahead. See Hilly potentially box the end of this lap. Depending on what the cars behind doing, Cold Steel and Magnatex, are they doing a one-stop? See a potential charge on for the likes of Hilly, Matt, Radigan. Cars that are doing a 2-stop strategy, they push on, potentially get themselves a podium in this race. Wouldn't be off the cards considering how much the tyre drop off will be come the end of the stint. One thing we saw in Masters, that the end of the one-stop stint, the tyre wear was that bad that it just dropped off. But Hilly opts to stay out at the moment. Does Matt come into the pits? No, he stays out, so he's obviously happy with his tyres as they are. Cold Steel is staying out. He boxed a lot later than anyone in front. So no one's boxing out of the top 8. On the oldest tyres at the moment in that top 8 on 14 lap old hard compound tyres. Scouts in P9, he's the first one to box. Potentially see himself cycle up to P2, so he's one to watch, is Irish Scouts. Got himself 8 seconds of clean air. I think he just got past John on that lap as well. So we could see him potentially make a charge up the field. I've got rid of the timings. Wrong fucking option. Hilly's dropped off the back of now. Dropped off the back of now. Dropped off the back of Luke now. I was trying to say. James sets the fastest lap of the race on new hard compound tyres after his pit stop. Hilly does decide to box. Does Matt decide to follow him in? He stays out for an extra lap. Cold Steel is gaining on the back of Matt slowly, a couple of attempts a lap. So Hilly's in, no 10-second, a new set of hard compound tyres. There's a car coming in there, that's Wiggy. Very slow in the pit entry again is Wiggy. 20 odd kph down on the pit lane line. Just being extra cautious coming into the pits. So we'll see, and Hilly does get out ahead of Scouts. Gets out ahead of Scouts by 1.5 seconds. So Hilly, on the moment, he's on that charge position for a potential podium. Haytham's going to have to box because he's on the medium compound tyres. Is ahead. Ragan is on 10 lap old hards. Matt is on 11 lap old hards. There is 14 laps to go, including this one. He's 8 seconds off the back of Magnatex, who I think is on a one-stop at this point. Unless he does box. Tyres aren't really holding up that well. Hamilton. Lemons is boxed. Bab is P2, but yet to box. Unless he's one stop in. Zoltan P3. Jack is P4. Kev is P5. Notorious on medium with a penalty. He's P6. Bold. Yeah, Bab's in a good position to do a 1. 12 lap onto a lap 26. I don't think we're going to see a 1 in this tier. Maybe the only one I could see doing it potentially is Luke. His pace is extraordinary as well. He's really absolutely sent blistering lap times. So quick from the start, when he took the lead off Cold Steel, he broke Cold Steel quite easily. Hilly's gained 2 seconds on Magnatex. It's been held up by Haytham at the moment, but he's setting in some quick lap times, and JM retires in the pits. He gets the fastest lap and decides that is enough. I am going home. So PRT, once again, are going to score just 3 drivers. Poor championship start is going to continue poor unless Dalton in the other tier does manages to get P1. Fraser and Rob Williams at the moment still running for PRT, but they're going to do some work to get themselves up, score more points. Gap coming down. Hilly's absolutely chewing into the gap. It's absolutely chewing into Magnatex's gap. It's 8.8 seconds and literally a lap and a half ago. It's now down to 5. Hilly is on the charge for a potential podium finish. We've got a yellow flag. It's Rob Williams who just had a spin. So we know Haytham is boxing, and we know that Matt is probably boxing unless he switched to a 1-stop as well. Matt boxes now. He's lost a lot of track position. Everyone who hasn't boxed, unless they're going for mediums, who's that coming in? That's Haytham. We know has to box. Hilly's up to P6 now. See what his pace is compared to Magnatex. Now Magnatex has got free air. He's got 9-lap fresh compound tyres. Hilly's pace is dropping Scouse by a rate of knots as well. Got battling further on back. We've got Craig and Mikey GTI going to wheel. Mikey on considerably older hard compound tyres, and it looks like Craig made the move around the outside. The gravel trap section, you don't see that often. As Mikey comes into the pits for a change of tyres, it looks like. Extended that gap now to 7 seconds. Cold Steel is coming up to the back of Matt F1. Ratigan's got a 10-second penalty? Penalties, yeah, so Ratigan and Mark are the penalties at the moment. They've both got 10 seconds. So Magnatex has actually caught up to the back of Ratigan quite early. Matt does now pit, so whether he's gone to medium, he might have gone for a medium compound tyre rather than 2 hards. Yes, so Matt has gone for 2 sets of medium compound tyres rather than 2 sets of hards. Another car that's going to come out in clean air. He's going to start his own charge. Got a lot more work to do, and he's lost a lot of time compared to what, only a couple of seconds behind Hilly before the pit stops, and 11 seconds off. Hilly's closed that gap to Magnatex by another second after the last lap. He's up to P4 is Hilly at this point. He's on the charge for that podium place, and I think a P2 isn't really off the cards. Magnatex was going to make a move, but chose not to. Stick on board with this. Equal battery levels. Is Magnatex going to get the run with the slipstream? Full traction at work for both drivers. If I did that on no traction, I was sailing off into the barriers, but it doesn't look like Magnatex is going to be able to get alongside. Right again, everyone back. John makes a move on Diablo. That's for P11. John looking so quick at the start of the race. Unfortunately, picked up damage. Or maybe by a potential incident or a mistake. Obviously, we see potentially in the stewards' sports channel. Looking so good early on is currently P11. Mark is another one who looked quick early on but picked up that front wing damage after that mistake. Riding the skateboard curb into the barrier. He's recovered to P9, but unfortunately with that 10-second penalty, dropping a few places. Hilly is now 1.4 seconds. Yeah, I think they're going to fall off. I think Luke is obviously the best scenario because he's cruising out in front with a lap pressure. Flags, who's that for? Haytham's had enough. Haytham looks like he's caught the skateboard at turns. Keep forgetting the turn numbers. Turn 9? Turn 10? Should get the trap back up, really, shouldn't I? Yeah, let's do that. It's too late for that now. Rattigan has come into the pits to serve his 10-second penalty and come off then hard compound tyres. Rattigan, another car that looked like he was going to try the one-stop. Opts against it very late on. A bit of a push now on them new mediums. Hilly on the back of Magnatex. This is for a podium spot on track. See how much rage gets another 10-second penalty. The quicker Hilly can get Magnatex, the quicker he can jump onto the back of Coldsteel. He's closing that gap on Luke Stepney, so is Luke dropping his pace intentionally to save tyres? That gap was 9 seconds a few laps ago. Hilly down the inside of Magnatex with the fresher tyres, with the overtake. Mag is going to try and switch back and fight back, but I don't think he's got the grip. And he hasn't got the grip. And Hilly's up to P3. So Hilly for Progen Mercedes F1 team at their home race. Look at all the fans ecstatic in the grandstands. Jumping with joy, seeing one of the teams. Yeah. It's our second home race. It's like the fans' home race, Jacket. I mean, look at all the orange shirts in the stands, mate. Who are they supporting? They're not supporting Verstappen, are they? Verstappen isn't here. They're clearly all out for Progen Mercedes F1 team. Nah, they're not Dutch. Don't see any Dutch flags in the stands. It's literally just orange shirts, mate. Notorious screen freeze again. What is it? Stream freeze into the barriers? Who's that box? Magnatex's box. So Magnatex, another one, opting for the one stop and going, I'm not going to make it. And now, position he's going to lose. Continuing to lose time to Coldsteel. Hilly's absolutely clawing out that time. And next on Hilly's target list is Coldsteel 4P2. It's been an excellent strategy, excellent race for Hilly. I don't want to jinx it. Just like I jinxed all my drivers on commentary. But unfortunately, we are going to have to stick on board. When he gets up, Magnatex trying to move around the outside of John 4P9. He's got them new tyres on his car now. Sails around the outside. Nothing that John can do. It's a surrender P10. Magnatex. Magnatex technically P8 at this point with Mark's 10-second time penalty for that speed infringement. So it's a 7-10, so he's managing his pace. It's why he's losing. Potentially see a very late charge for a Hilly win. It's a push. Tyres are dropping off that badly. Jack's got damage. got himself within that 1 second of Cold Steel. That's about 5-6, 2-6. What are the pens in the other race? Gap? Are they 3 seconds or 10? He is on the back of Cold Steel. I think Luke has got this race wrapped up. I think he's dropped off his pace slightly just to manage them tyres. I don't know how much Cold Steel's hurting, but I can't see anything other than Hilly getting around him, because look how much more grip he's got. He's just able to take these lines which are completely different. Cold Steel has got no defence. Hilly around the outside. And it's easy. It's like taking candy from a baby. And he moves up into P2. And you can just see how much more extra grip he's got, how much more confidence on the power under traction. And Cold Steel's probably going to try and stick with him, but I don't think he can. The gap's increasing every corner, every traction zone, and Hilly's got 3 laps to put everything down on the table and see what he can do in catching Luke. I don't think he's going to. But you never know, if the tyres are falling off that badly, Cold Steel's lost a second already to Hilly. Luke's losing the same amount of time. Potentially B. Punctures could also play a part as well if these guys are really struggling that badly. Magnatex and Haytham are going at it. Magnatex is now up to P7. Mark has had to box again. Served that 10-second penalty. He's on the softs. Wasn't going to be able to get the tyres to the end. Magnatex up to P7 now after switching to that 2-stop strategy. Hilly's now 4.8 off the back of Luke. He's 1.2 seconds so far this lap. Cold Steel's at risk of losing out to Scouse. Scouse could be on for a potential podium himself with the pace that he's putting down. I think Luke has got it covered, unless for a puncture. Heartbreaking for Luke Stepney if he does get a puncture on the final lap. Driven a great race. Great pace. Hilly's now 3.5, so he's getting so much time out of that banked corner. I do think Luke is in full management mode, which is why his pace has dropped off. Probably saving himself just so he can push that bit harder on the last lap. He must be. Hilly has got that problem that he's putting so much pace down that he's got no battery to work with. And I think if there was one more lap after lap 36, he's probably got a chance of getting the win, but I think this is Luke's race to lose, unless for a puncture. I think he's got it under wraps. Scouse is 1.9 off the back of Cold Steel. I don't think he's going to be able to get that podium pace in this final stint. It's been good, but it's just been quick enough. And he's down to 2 seconds. Yeah, apart from a puncture for Luke Stepney, I think this is his race win, which has been fully deserved. He's took the lead and he's never looked back. It's just how much is he struggling? 21 laps on these hard compound tyres. Must be absolutely screaming at him at this point. See, Hilly is gaining on him all the time, and the front left tyre has gone. Luke Stepney has picked up a puncture on the final lap. His front left tyre has gone. Is that going to affect him enough that Hilly's going to get the chance? Oh, and this could be heartbreaking for Luke if he loses the win from the front left puncture. Hilly must see how slow he's going. He's got to see the puncture. He probably can see it. He's got battery to use, but can he get the exit? really struggling with that front left puncture. Hilly has got one blast to the line. What can he do? He gets alongside. He's going to run out of battery though, and I think Luke is going to hold on to the win just with a puncture. He takes the win. 0.077. Just hold on long enough. Tyre went on the final lap. And he went down to a race to the line, but just the battery saving from Luke saved him. Oh. Cold Steel secures the podium from pole to P3. It's a good race from Cold Steel. Managed the one stop. Scouse P4. I think that's gained six positions. Hilly gained 10 positions. And he got the win as well. Matt P5. Magnatex started P6, finished P6. Wiggy managed to gain up to P7. Hayden P8. John down to P9 after his strong start. It looked so good in pace. Recovered to a P9 finish. Ragan. Chris managed to go from the back to P11. Craig managed to gain a few positions from P12 and mark another one with damage. He has to settle for P13. Delta 14. Mikey's going to come over P15. And Rumble P16. Rob Williams 17th. Delta? I don't know whether I said Delta or not. 2 retirements of Perm and JM. Unlucky Hilly, mate. Very unlucky. Literally one more corner. It would have been your win. One more corner. One more corner on the track before that straight, you would have had it. Oh, I've been kicked out of the session. I don't get the standings there. Lucky, yeah. Step Luke's went on the final lap. Middle of sector 2, his front left tyre just went. Literally just managed to hold on to it right at the end. Thank you very much for all those that tuned in. Congratulations to Luke on managing that one stop, getting the win. Congrats to Hilly on a great drive up to P2 and Cold Steel for P4 after starting on pole position. Back next week, which I think is trade week next week as well, and a special event around Bahrain, which is no hard compound tyres. So that is going to be a brutal 2 to 3 stop strategy. But thank you all for tuning in. Catch you all next week.
Don't look back, it's you and I. We're here tonight. Raise your hands and make me reach the stars. Feel the sparkle in the air. It's everywhere. Don't know about you, but I'm getting what's mine. I got the power. The moment is ours. I'm getting higher and higher. I can't get enough. I got the power. It's getting louder. I'm getting higher and higher. I can't get enough. I can't get enough. Getting higher. Desires. Power. I can't get enough. Getting higher. Desires. Power. I can't get enough. Getting higher. Don't look back, it's you and I. We're here tonight. Raise your hands and make me reach the stars. Feel the sparkle in